Welcome to our Mind the Moment Tuesday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to talk with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and happy Thursday. I'm happy to be here with Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim's Mindfulness Program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne, and welcome everyone. Happy to be with you this morning.
Yeah, it's great to be here on this holiday week.
Oh, is today Tuesday?
Did I say Tuesday?
I don't know, you might have.
Let's say Mind the Moment Thursday mornings gathering.
Okay. People are on it.
Yeah. So thank you for the little reminder. Today we'll start off with a question from Tara.
Yes. Hang on. I'm just opening up my chat. Okay.
Yeah. And then Tara will lead us in a guided practice.
Yes.
After that, we'll have some time for questions. And if you go to the bottom of your screen, if you can open up your chat, and you'll notice that you can pull on the pull down menu, you can change that to panelists and attendees. And you can see all the comments coming in real time. And that's all our housekeeping. So let's get started. Tara, what kind of questions?
Okay. Yeah, so I was thinking about the check-in with all of you this morning. And one of the things that I have been thinking a lot about is now that things are starting to open up and we're able to do things, is there something in particular that you're looking forward to doing that you haven't been able to do? And that could be anything, anything that you are excited to return to, that you're looking forward to. And Suzanne, I thought we'd start with you. The opening up still feels sort of new. And is there something that you have been wanting to do or looking forward to?
Yeah, so I have two very good friends that are that live out of town, and one in particular is going to be moving to New York City, and I cannot wait to go see her.
Oh, yeah. New York City has felt very off limits, right? I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually go at least once a year. So I'm very excited to see her and just get to see New York.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little travel. How about you, Tom?
I have to say, I'm looking forward to travel and eating in restaurants. I'm going to say two things.
Yeah.
Just the idea of, the restrictions being lifted, at least for now. I think there is some cautious optimism about our future. But yeah, like travel and eating in restaurants. Let's see what people are saying. Oh yeah, go on vacation, shop at a mall, trip to Maine, wedding. Yeah, vacation and hotel. Seeing family, visiting. Yeah.
Yeah, classes and starting in a studio. That I actually did one of those recently, and it
Did you?
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, there weren't that many people in the class, but that's nice to be back to.
Yeah, definitely.
Broad.
So, all right. So with that, let's. I'm going to lead us in a more like of a concentration practice. We'll do the usual kind of settling in on the body, and then finding an anchor that is going to work for you to bring your attention back to. So again, not to worry as your attention wanders. That's natural and normal. We're just deciding we're not going to stay with that train of thought or association. As soon as we see it, we come back to either open awareness where you're using sound or breath sensation. So let's go ahead and we'll begin. So settle in to a seated posture or standing. So either is fine. Whatever feels like it's going to work best for you this morning. If you're sleepy, standing is helpful. Otherwise, you can be seated and eyes open or closed. So if it feels good to keep the eyes open, just gaze downward a bit. And take a couple deep breaths on your own, doubling the length of the exhalation as a way to just settle any surface tension and settle in. And see if you can surrender your weight into the support of the surface, maintaining a spine that is straight but not stiff. Just notice with attention over the whole body. From your activity so far today, what's the physical expression in your body? So, what are you noticing? Tingling or the points of contact with the back of the body and the surface, or any kind of pulsing or vibration. And just with a receptive, open, curious mind, just receiving it. And for a moment, receiving sound that's in the room you're in or outside of the room. And as you feel ready, allowing sound to remain in the background, as of course it will, bringing the attention back inward to the body and beginning to notice the rhythm of your breath and where in the body that inhalation and exhalation, the sensations of it are most notable for you, where you notice them most strongly or prominently. And then let your attention anchor there. So tracking that in breath, tracking that out breath, the mind will wander. As soon as you notice returning, tracking in, tracking out at the level of sensation. And then, of course, as always, the other options, if breath feels difficult for you today, to use more open awareness where you're receiving sound. Or alternatively, you can take your hands and rest the palms on the thighs and notice that point of contact. You could also put the hands together and notice that. Notice where the mind is, reconnecting with your anchor. And noticing where the mind is. Just releasing thought, or memory, or planning, or worry. Just simply returning attention to the sensations or to the sound, whatever you're using. And again, noticing where the mind is and gently escorting the attention back to whatever you're using to anchor attention. And again, notice where the mind is. And just for a moment, also like just making sure you're checking in with the whole body. Often with thought, there's a subtle contraction that isn't known. And so soften the body and return to your anchor. And I'll count back from 5 to 1. And when I reach 1, if your eyes were closed, you can open and or otherwise reconnecting with each other. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And so taking a moment to just reorient and maybe looking around the room, taking a little stretch. So just that was one of the longer meditations that we've done. It was closer to 15 minutes. I think it was 14. So it's a little bit more. Usually, we're in the 10 to 12 range. And one thing I want to say also is, and I mentioned this toward the end of the practice, is that we naturally will go into thought. I go into thought and then I see it. And the idea is, just a soft mental note thinking, aware of what the thought was. It could be planning or worry. And there's always a corresponding contraction in your body when there's thought, but we don't tend to notice it. So what's a helpful pattern in practice is as soon as you come out of, you recognize you've been lost in thought, soft mental note thinking, or more specific, planning or worrying or anger, whatever it might be. And then just bring attention to the body and to the best of your ability, soften and reconnect with your anchor. So that's typically the pattern is notice, label, soften, return. But I would love to hear from folks if that felt long, if there's any questions about that whole process. The idea is that we're steadying attention each time we come back, because mindfulness works better on a calibrated platform. With the mind has some steadiness, mindfulness works better. So just any observations about the length or a question about your practice.
Yeah, people.
People like the longer. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there a length that people typically on their own have been meditating? Longer people have been like, because I know
The time is good, but planning is hard to avoid. And I think what's really helpful about this practice is that we see our habit patterns more clearly. And so I think with like planning mind, that's really the practice is just label planning, because the mind likes to have something to chomp on. It just does. It's the nature of it. So planning. And then what does planning feel like in the body? Soften the body, return to your anchor. So it almost doesn't matter what the topic is. It gives us information on what our habit pattern is. Um,
And someone was asking about the recordings, the link for the recordings.
Oh, harvardpilgrim.org/mindfulness. And that'll bring you to the, yes. Notice, notice, label, soften the body, and return to your anchor. So it's notice, thinking, or more specific, worrying, planning, whatever. Okay, so that's the notice, and you can label it. And then bring attention to the body, because always when we are in thought, whether we're aware of it or not, the body subtly contracts. And so you're just softening and returning. Oh, thank you. Mind the Moment on YouTube. Yes, like the longer practice planning. Mind the Moment on YouTube. Yes. So if you go to YouTube, Mind the Moment, and you'll find those recordings. Wow, it's great. I'm so happy to hear that people have liked the longer length. And I don't know if I said this last week or not, but Dr. Amishi Jha, the neuroscientist, is coming out with a book. It might be the end of this year, but one of the things her research has pointed to is that 12 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 5 weeks is where they started to see structural change in the brain. So that's important to know. It's a common question. People say, how long do I have to meditate? But I think, from at least on Thursdays, when I'm here, we'll keep that. We'll keep going toward the 15-minute mark, because ultimately the time and the benefits are proportional. So the more that we increase our practice, and this willingness to be with discomfort, because without a doubt, the longer we practice and increasing the time, more discomfort can arise, either physically or mentally. And there's an opportunity to work with it, to receive rather than to resist and distract, which is a very natural habit pattern. So it's a kind of turning toward a stepping into discomfort rather than trying to feel something special like ease. We're not trying to do that in this practice.
Mm. Yeah, it's the mindset that everything is welcome.
Yes, like that Rumi poem, invite it all in. Yeah, and up the curiosity and the receptivity.
Yeah.
It's easier with pleasant things. It's a lot harder with unpleasant.
Right. And the more that we push away the unpleasant, and that's kind of the resisting, that the more it, builds on that unpleasant feeling. So it's
right. You're doubling the issue by adding all the resistance, which again is natural. And all you need to do is see the resistance. You just keep backing up. It's like, oh, you've got this pain, let's say physical, mental, whatever, and then there's a resistance to it. And then finally you see the resistance. Oh, resistance. Can I receive that too?
Yeah, I feel like it's so helpful when we get used to that in our practice. It's so helpful when it comes up just during the day.
Yes.
And we don't always think about it that way, but when we do, we're like, wow, okay, yeah, I have pain, or I'm having, difficult thoughts that are coming into my day.
Yeah.
How can I just not push them away like we normally do, and say, okay, what is this? How is this work? How is this affecting my body?
And that's exactly why we practice formally, not so that we're just awake and aware and with our emotions when we're in our formal practice, but so we can employ it in the service of our day-to-day life. I mean, that's the goal. Yeah.
Very helpful. Well, happy to have everyone here this morning and engaging in the conversation. We're all of our practices ebb and flow, and I think the more we talk about how we can enhance them, the better we're all.
Absolutely. And if anybody has any final comments or any resource that you'd like to add, like a book or a link or an app that you think is good, or any final comments or questions. We still have, a minute or so. So that's, please offer. Yeah.
I'm wondering if folks have used Insight Timer on your phones. That's that's a resource that I love, because it will give you just a timer for meditating and just in silence, if that's something that's that you connect with. Or there are multiple multiple different types of guided meditation. There's yoga. Yeah, it's a really great,
Yeah.
a lot different types of talks, and so yeah,
Really good.
we have used that, so that's great.
I know. And it's free, it's free. And then all of our resources as well, Mind the Moment on YouTube. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. 10% happier. I love that. I love the app, and I love the podcast. The podcast is very good.
It is fantastic. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. Yes. Yeah. I can't say enough about that for sure.
Cindy was asking.
The Amishi Jha. So Amishi, last name Jha. So she's great. Be on the lookout for her book.
She is great.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Tara, for your wonderful guidance and great discussion here with the group. And we'll be back here on Tuesday at 8:30, and it really will be Tuesday. And that will be with Jackie Johnson. So we're so happy to have her back on.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Good.
All our best.
Have a good weekend.
A great rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.